My other half.
Try
We
to
have the
talk-
same conversation, it doesn't work.
I know. I talk a lot of it.
I'm so mal upset, think about it, do you think it's gonna happen?
I know. There might-
Before I call the meeting to order, Eric Saylor, Jen Moore, Bill Durflu were the trustees. I'm the chair of the Park and Recreation Cemetery Committee. Ben Martinson, Director of Public Works, and everybody knows Colonel Bossert, the village administrator. And of course, last but certainly not least, Betsy Mansell, she's the president of the village. I will call the meeting to order at 4:56 p.m. And instead of a roll call, I am just going to declare we have a quorum. Everyone is present. And instead of approving the agenda in the minutes, I'm going to just ask for a consent agenda without an objection. And the items on the consent agenda will be approved the agenda itself for today and approve the 22 March 2023 minutes. Do I have a motion to the same? Motion by Eric,
You just need to say aye. Yay.
Second.
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 I don't have the rules yet, and you're calling
Second
me
by,
audible.
second by Jen.
I'm not gonna do
Did
this.
you go to that big confab on Saturday?
No, I did, but we
I
didn't go
thought-
over my,
I thought Boz would
I don't have
all-
lines
All
yet.
right.
No yellow. book.
Discussion? Hearing no request to speak, all those in favor of the consent agenda, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Public comments. You guys are gonna get your chance in a little bit.
No one
Anybody
online.
done?
Nobody online.
Chairperson comments. The only thing I want you to put in the back of your mind, and hopefully you'll go along with it, is a May 24th meeting. I would like to go to Ripple Creek. We have a new member on the committee. And I just think, when we just take a tour and sites, everything sinks in a little bit better and you're gonna see firsthand what's been done, and it's a good refresher for old guys like me. And then, skipping June and going into July, then I'd like to go down to Edwards Alexander Park and have another road trip. Down there in July, so. Okay, item number 7, discussion and presentation by the Wood County Chamber of Commerce Leadership Class on a village mural, and I'm sure this is different than what I told you about Milwaukee, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Bob, do you have a little
Depends how this
introduction
goes.
first?
No, I'll let you speak.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Do you need us to like move to the mic or?
As long as you speak towards the mic here, you can stand up, come closer if you want, it's up to you guys, yeah.
Or without objection, if you each want to take a seat at the
Yeah,
end
you
of
can
the
stay at
table,
the
that's
end.
fine too.
Just,
I'm good standing. If
yeah, that's it,
you
that's
guys
the
are good
mic,
with that.
yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you for letting us or allowing us the time to speak today. My name is Nathan Plim and I am the marketing sales manager at the Wisconsin Rapids Area Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Ben Everline, I'm the Community Engagement Director at United Way of Southwood and Adams Counties.
And we are both two members of the current class at the Heart of Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce Community Leadership Program. And that's what those handouts are. Just a little breakdown of what the program is about, but Ben can tell you more.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with the Community Leadership course, basically, so it's a course that the Chamber facilitates as a way to allow any community members that are interested in, professional development, becoming more engaged in the community, more engaged civically, and professional development, so that you can learn a little bit more just about the community in general, the area, how some of these like processes and things work in order to become a better leader, not only for the community, but in your professional settings too. So that's how, we're at where we are now. So over the last 8 months, we've been doing, taking part of that course. And part of that is working together with our course mates and taking on a project in the community, something that is a benefit to the community that can, put the skills that we're learning in this course into, action and in a way that brings the community together and creates a lasting impact. So, so I guess I don't know if we want to talk a little bit more about the project.
So the project can have a basis in pretty much anything. Throughout the program, we do different classes with different industries. So we visited like the Wood County Jail. We went to Mid-State. We do things like in education, healthcare, government, all different tourism, all economic development, all different kinds of things. And our project group, there's two in the current class at the program. Our project group focused in on public art. And one of our group members has a connection with Boz, Kelly at the county jail, and she informed us of an opportunity that she became aware of here at the building right here with the corner of Third and Market. She and Boz both informed us that there's a park planning to be built. Is that correct?
Long term.
Long term. Okay, so the hopes for a park, and we understand the importance of public art. There's some information. Again, that like 3-page pamphlet, that's just a study that was recently done by the city of Wisconsin Rapids about a year ago. So while it doesn't pertain directly to Fort Edwards, it's very generalized in the opinions that came out of it, how people want art, what they want to see, what they value in public art, and what's important to them. So it's not the full study, it's just some of the results, but I can certainly send you folks the full study if you're interested. Like we said, we're focused more on public art for our project, and we're hoping to help facilitate, sponsor, and organize a mural, potentially on this side, the side of the building here, facing Third Street. That was the opportunity that was presented to us. And we've also heard, again, from Kelly and Boz, that the park has a hopeful theme of EMT public safety focus. And so we thought that might be a really good idea to incorporate that in a mural. And what we did is then Ray recommended that we reach out to Adam Andreessen. I don't know if that's a familiar name, but
He's the one that did our signs downtown.
yeah. So, and Adam, it's our understanding that he's a well-known local artist. He's been involved in the community for quite some time. And I had a phone call conversation with him. He's very interested in helping with this project. So we've kind of just started the background, first initial steps of gaining interest, but we wanted to come to you as the village board to see whether or not you would be on board, gave us the go-ahead approval type thing to try and gather materials for a mural. That's kind of what we're here today to kind of lay out for you. While we don't have a draft of the mural yet, we would need to determine the size, what you folks as the village board determine as like how complex the mural should be. Should it be something simple or something detailed that could take longer? All of those factors, like I said, size, complexity, and artist time go into how much it would cost and how much we would do for fundraising. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? What we would do for fundraising?
Yeah, just to kind of clarify, we're at a challenge where, obviously we want to be able to give you as much information as possible, but before we can move forward and enter into a contract where we'd be able to receive like a draft and a little bit more of a detailed plan of what that could look like, that would obviously requires an investment and a relationship with the artist. And so before moving forward with any kind of formal arrangement like that, we just want to make sure that we do have the green light and this can be a partnership collaboration and everything is, set on that path. So that's where we're hoping to go from here.
If I might just interject at the beginning part here, once you get the hard facts and everything ready to roll, then get a hold of Colonel Bossert and he will put you on the next, at the appropriate time on the Parks Committee for the official okay. And that okay doesn't give you the go ahead. It just says we support the go ahead. Then it goes to President Mansell and the village board for final approval.
Sure.
So if you have any questions, he has my number if you wanted to call me too.
Yeah, kind of like what Ben said, like we were hoping to come to this meeting to introduce the idea. I know we were on the agenda last week. Unfortunately, the group member that was intending to come had a last minute emergency and wasn't able to attend, but that's why we're here today to kind of just open the idea, get your feedback and see if there's any guidance or things that we should be thinking about as we work to get those final details, like a draft, a proposed budget from the artist, things like that.
Personally, I'm totally in favor of that.
Of a mural, like in general. Great.
Mr. Chair, quick.
Go ahead, Boz.
So, to make sure we're all set and for your information, I know this was approached to us by our local, the Butterfly Garden folks.
Oops.
About a year ago. There's been no energy or effort since then. I've reached out multiple times and they're having challenges with money and concept and that type of stuff. So that's still a possibility, because exactly what they do is based on the size that we would commit of that space, there's a big wall. So you could do something, multiples. So that's that. You all know we utilize this park not only for Christmas events, we utilize the green space. We actually have a Vibrant Spaces grant with the state for $50,000 to help energize that more with a gazebo, sidewalks, whatever. So there's more efforts being put into that space long-term. That a side effort like this would be nice to have some type of artistic flavor to it. Solaris talked to their COO, James Liceny. We chatted about it. He's fully supportive of it. His main concern, like ours would be, was what is our long-term maintenance plan of anything that we place on there, because it would be a direct reflection of his business since he owns the last building. So we would have to tie that into your planning of the types of materials, what's the length, what's the lifespan of it, and if there is touch-ups, what would we do once you guys go away, type stuff. So we would like to have information on that moving forward, so these guys can make that type of decision. Yeah, that's just latest and greatest on that space there, so.
That's a really good point about like the longevity of murals. There's, in some of the conversations that we've had with various artists and art groups, it's our understanding that there's certain like adhesives and epoxies that they normally put over paint to make it be able to last like rain or shine for as many years as possible. But you're right, at some point there might be some touch-up might be required. And it's a good distinction to make that this program, like us in this class, change every year. So it's like Ben said, it's just the 8 to 9 months of this program, and then we actually graduate in May. And so after that, we still, via our businesses and the places that we work, we still remain involved with the chamber, but not in the community leadership program sense. Does that make sense?
So, just to jump in and clarify, are you just asking for basically, when this does go for approval, if it would move forward, you're just asking for to include information on what it would take long-term?
Yeah, I would address that, yes, have some type of commentary on that for them to make part of the decision making. Because what we don't want, and I think I can speak for everyone, we don't want another burden thrown on the village for long-term maintenance when we don't have no money for it.
Right.
So as long as you guys can cover that, explain to that, have a plan for that, even if it is, hey, village, in 20 years, you might have to do something.
Right.
At least we know walking in.
Right, and I think that really
Right.
resonates with why we're doing, like, we're hearing, obviously you see the research that, hear from conversations and anecdotally, in the community, everybody wants a mural here, a sculpture there, we want this to be redone, and that everybody talks about that, and then nothing really happens. But when we heard that there's plans for this project, and he said long-term to the park, and we can actually see things happening here in Port, it got us excited to hopefully help with that momentum. And we don't want to put more of a burden on, but we want to get involved in a way that we can create a synergy that makes it more than the sum of its parts.
So you guys actually do the painting, or is actually Adam gonna be doing the painting?
Well, that's another factor that we're thinking about. So in our conversation with Adam, he said that he's open to him doing the whole painting himself, depending on the design and the draft. Or if it's something more simple, perhaps our community leadership team can do like the paint by color type thing, where, the simple parts doesn't have to be an experienced artist. That might expedite the project, make it go a little faster if it's a very large mural too. If, let's say, for example, it's a mural of the river, right? The water could probably be painted by anyone who has no art experience, right? Again, based on the design. So that
You're
is
not the
still
painter. You guys aren't the painters. You don't have anybody you don't have a team behind you that's painters, and
correct. But Adam, to our understanding, does have experience painting murals like this. So he would be like the main person.
Jen, Eric, feel free.
And you guys are done in May?
The program technically ends in May. Our group has, because of the nature of our project, we started in October. So we understood that a mural probably wasn't going to be getting painted fall,
Okay,
winter, spring into.
Just with the weather.
Right.
right,
Based on the weather.
absolutely.
So our group members have committed to seeing this project through past graduation. But again, like we said, once the mural is complete and everything is like that, then this group would probably disband, this community leadership team, but we would still remain active members of the chamber.
And that, my only other question is, how did the concept come about? Was that something that the
That's good.
board came up with, or community interest, or?
Yeah, that solely came when they approached, you all approached. I guess it's the sheriff's department. You have a large contingent of EMS guys in your class, I think, or something, and
We have some
Some.
members, pretty much
Yeah.
across industry,
Yeah.
but some are at the.
so they brought an idea of what would you have an interest in. I know the fire department's been talking about something going on to honor EMS. So that's just a bit of initial swag if it's EMS/veterans, that type of
Sure.
focus. But that's totally up to you all, how you wanna take it. It could be like in the school, the high school, that little mural of the history of the village. It could be that type of concept, but that's more appealing to us.
Mhm.
And I think they'd be open to that based on what we would
Yes,
like to see on our wall every day.
exactly, and that's where we've kind of like been going back and forth, like, do we ask Adam for a design on this concept, or should we kind of ask you folks, like the village board, what do you want to see out there? And that's kind of where we're at. We are more than open to any sort of concept. Our jam is just public art. And we are really focused on the mural aspect, not like getting a sculpture or anything like that, but specifically a mural.
Thank you.
We do have like some plans, or avenues that we plan to advertise should this all be approved, or not advertise, fundraise, should this be approved. We have several connections from the chamber as well as our businesses. You know, Ben and I, in the nature of our work, are very well connected. And we would be preparing like a donation ask letter, but both for monetary donations to help pay the artist rate as well as pay for supplies. Another idea we were thinking of was to also reach out to local stores and manufacturers to see if they'd be willing to discount paint, and the supplies that would be needed, again, as in a sponsorship sense.
What is the projected project would cost?
It depends, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I think, well, it really does depend on the size of the mural, at least that's what. There's really no like hard and fast rule for the. It's hard to pin that down. I mean, it depends on the materials used, it depends on the complexity of the picture or whatever you're doing. The other idea is, I mean, obviously, regardless of the complexity or the materials, that size, like, we're not gonna do the entire wall. That would just be beyond the scope of the fundraising that we're capable of. But that leaves, I mean, there's a lot of flexibility there.
I was thinking 20-foot segments gives you 3 segments for future growth. The butterfly folks can take a segment later on. And then there's a final a section that the school or somebody could take on. So it gives us 3 differing.
In some
I
of,
think the butterflies are full.
in some of my work with tourism and other like nonprofit groups, I have seen murals that started out like that. They took a section of a wall, somebody else wanted to also paint something, and they brought in another artist who specialized in like transition work. So even if the themes are complete polar opposites, there is potential with such a large space like that to make it into one flowing picture.
It's like covering up a bad tattoo.
Right, kinda, gotta put an example on it. But yeah, are there any other questions, or things that we might not be thinking about that we should before we, work to secure a draft timeline and budget?
Anybody have any further questions? If not, I was just gonna say, your next step then will be contact with Colonel Bosser. And, making sure that, when you're ready to come back to the committee, that you got pretty much everything to go.
Yeah, did I hear correctly that the next meeting is, would be May
It'll be
24th?
24 May.
Yep.
Okay,
24 May.
that, I just wanna let you folks know right now, that's the night of our graduation for community leadership through the
So I'm
chamber.
available.
Right, so
What-
more than willing to duck out of that.
Well, if the meeting's at 4 p.m.
right,
if
yeah.
everyone could play.
Right,
You're probably looking at June.
okay. Is there room or is there opportunity, I guess, to if we were to put everything together to send that to you electronically,
Sure.
if we couldn't make it, like if the times conflict.
That's fine. Whatever you can send me, and then if it's self-explanatory, I don't physically need someone here.
Okay.
They've heard it,
Yeah,
but we would need more data, so. Yeah.
no, absolutely. We would
He'll
break
be-
down like
He's
the,
the best contact to get it out to the community.
okay, yeah, we would break down like, hopefully by then we would have the budget, the drafts and the timeline of when we hope, how long it might take to complete this, when we hope to start type thing. We'd absolutely do that for you.
We like zeros and the word free.
And no
Perfect.
maintenance.
Right?
We had a lot of time.
Yeah, that's right, our jam too. But if there aren't any other questions, we really do appreciate you taking the time to listen to us. I apologize that our group couldn't be represented last month, but we're hoping to
Things
do what we
happen.
can. Yeah. Great.
Feel
Thank
free to
you.
get some photos on the way out, and I'm thinking the furthest end to the street.
Okay,
So if you wanna focus there, that could be where your sketches are.
sure, sure. Yeah, that'd be great. Well, thank you folks for your time. You have a great rest of your night.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good evening, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move on to item number 8. I'm sure you all looked at the calendar, for May 2023. Bob's listed the 3 main topics. I have no questions about it except for Memorial Day. Is there any special activities for that?
It's being, the DFW from the Coos is gonna do their usual. They start in the Coos Cemetery at 9, come to us at 10, then go to Saratoga. So, the speaker is a person that helps run the honor flight that takes veterans to, DC. She's an organizer helps run, Milwaukee and, Wausau and other airports, Green Bay. And, she happens to be I guess a cousin-in-law of mine or something. Related to my wife.
Oh, the good part of the family.
Yes, yes. So, but she'll be speaking at the event. So, that's all we got on that. So we'll be at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at our cemetery at the Veterans Memorial, and everything else is good to go.
Garbage sale, garage sale.
Yep, same, all day Saturday. We have the Goodwill truck lined up for the weekend. We are not doing latrines, or are we? We are doing porta
We're
johns.
not getting unless we get funding.
Yeah, no. So right now, unless you guys want to do it, I haven't gone down a road of getting porta potties like we did. Do they get used? Yes, but we
Last
get more
year we got-
complaints than they get
Last
used.
year we got stuck with a bill.
Yes, yeah.
Which your feelings been? You deal every day with them.
There's a use for them, but where are we gonna,
What happened? We got stuck with the bill. Fresh by memory.
I think DMI was gonna pay last year and they didn't pay us
Oh,
for
they
them.
did? Ah.
That's according to what the
All right,
office I
I'll check on
talked
that
to,
one, sorry, yeah.
but it's up to you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, are they useful? Yes, but again, they're $175 a piece, so it's,
For the
Where's-
season?
no, just for the day.
Yeah, just drop off
So,
Friday. and
It's a
pick up
business you
Sunday.
should get into.
Business.
I mean, the parks will be open, Ripple Creek. The shelter down here will be open. I think the fire department is having, I mean, that'll be open. I mean, there is areas that are open to the public right now. We don't have anything up on the north end of town. That's where the issue is. We don't have nothing out of a bunker, but the gas station's down there.
Gas stations that part either. People will figure it out.
Jen, Eric, what's your feeling on it?
If someone else is gonna pay, that sounds great. Otherwise, I'm gonna know. They'll figure it out. I mean, the
Yep.
first year will be the first year will be the year people complain, and then they'll get used to it and they'll be fine.
I mean, we don't, before this event was sponsored, I mean, right now the village, I mean, Ray's taken over this event, so I mean, in the past, there was groups that did it, so. I think we just gotta use the sources we have out there right now and go with it.
I saw your pen moving there when you found that out. Would you?
Oh, yeah.
Would you please
I
contact
will
Mr.
confirm that
Moore?
with, Diane, yeah.
And
that's-
tell Mr. Moore, the guy that shares his
Yeah.
first name is not too happy.
No, I got you.
Getting stuck.
Yep, I'll check on that.
How many were there? 175 times?
I don't know, that was last year. I don't know.
3 of them. It was like a $500 bill. We'll find it. Yeah.
Do you want me to call Mr. Moore?
No. Can't do it.
I will.
He might have snuck it in. I just know right after it.
And then Music Fest is Yellow Pellet, local guy, and, caterer. What's their-
Who's playing the hoot nanny or who?
It's that 3-person band. Paul Lieber. So he will be, it's Yellow Pellets, the band name. So they'll be doing it, that Thursday prior to the rum sale with,
Counter.
Chatterbox, that's Chatterbox Children. And the Peppo folks, the parents teacher organization up there is going to do some other stuff, sales of stuff
Candy,
for kids, yeah.
cotton candy.
And that's our only event. Those two, no, what do you say, those 3 events, and I got all your meetings on there.
$525, and they get 80-some thousand dollars a month on that rail yard, and they can't afford to give us any money. Pay the taxes, I gotta check, I still think I have his cell phone number. If I do.
We got bigger fish to fry than that.
What's that?
We got a lot bigger fish to fry than that. Come on.
No, this is
So if you guys are good with that calendar the way it is, we'll put that out to the village tomorrow.
yeah, that's good. Number 9, why don't you fill us in on the
Yeah.
bad news you told me about with the
We're-
crosswalk out there?
We're still in gathering data, but it wasn't looking that good. We have updated data from our MSA folks. The ones that would be doing the general engineering from the whole route. And their bill, because of what we had a phone call with the DOT and they were on the line as well. Because of the requirements DOT's asking, that would include us doing some of the engineering. That's why MSA was with us, and a portion of the engineering of the actual crosswalk. Their bill came in around $30,000. So that's them to engineer the entire Port Road up through Bunker access. Then part of the discussion that DOT owes me a firm answer on, she kind of laid it out, and this is the lady that deals with all crosswalks out of Madison, so it's not the project manager. Because the way they're interpreting that crossing, they call it a double. You're gonna go from the south side, you're gonna go to that little island, and then you're gonna go to Port Road. So you're stopping in the middle. It's not just a straight shot, the way they would design it. Because of that, they require additional type of flasher notification. So DOT part of the project would put all the early signaling, if it was a regular crosswalk, at their charge. But because of this uniqueness, looks like they would pin the rows on us for that specific type of flasher. And MSA was on the line, and they just did it for another organization, and it was like in the $4,000 to $5,000 per machine, per signaling device range. And that would be on us. If it's confirmed by DOT, it'll be on us. So the way it's looking, I think, once we confirm all this and we present it to you all as the final, this is what it would be. I think the best course of action is the $10,000 grant that we have. We've shifted towards just, the current network and refreshing that.
That legacy?
This county grant, seed money. So I think, if that's the way it's going, save some money to paint Bunker when we're done with it. And then the rest of the money, we throw on some resurfacing spot fixes along the existing network. And that suits the grant requirement. Just the way once you start pressing the people, that's the data coming. So don't want to kill it right now, because I think I still owe an answer from DOT, but by next month we'll know for sure. I definitely not excited about paying MSA $30,000. So that's where we stand there.
Questions, comments? Okay, number 10, old business, and I don't mean Boz or myself.
I got
New business. Anybody receive any letters, correspondence, any type? Agenda items for next meeting. If these guys call, we can get them on there. You wanna put the crosswalk on, you're gonna have anything?
we have anything, I'll put it on there.
All right,
So that mural, we're gonna be on the hook for that, or they're gonna fundraise, take care of it all, and
They want to fundraise, Solaris is gonna give them a donation. But I do want them to explain to us the longevity of it.
so really there shouldn't be that much money coming out of our pocket for it. I mean, it's a project that they
Yeah, no,
want.
I mean,
They're
it
gonna
would be
do it,
hard
they're
pressed
gonna
if we put anything out other than offering them the location.
Okay.
It's on Solaris building, so if it gets damaged, it's Solaris responsibility.
Well, that's why Solaris was, well, yeah, that's a good point. So Solaris, my discussion was, yeah, they like it, they'll support it, they'll give them the space. They want an understanding who's gonna maintain it long term.
Yeah.
So, that understanding would be either between us, Solaris, and this organization, or, yeah, so they would want that before they approve it.
I thought those guys were gonna be the painters. I was a little confused.
No,
I didn't realize they're just putting it together and then they're gonna hire a village guy to paint it.
but it's the same group that I was part of, and we're still doing the signs. So I was part of this organization 3 years
Mhm.
ago. We got this money for the signs that all around here, the bike trail signs. And every time I put a new sign up, we're still putting them up in Grand Rapids. I still use my same group and network, and so they still stay together as a group once they graduate. A small portion of them will, so I think
Mhm.
we'd be able to, part of the memorandum agreement will be with their organization, get all their members and say, we're gonna come after you guys in the future. Cause that's what they sign up for when they do this program. So.
Anything else, Eric? Nope. Alrighty, next meeting is gonna be 24 May 2023. The
5 p.m.
time listed is 4:30, but it is 5 o'clock
p.m.
is agreed upon time. Jim, if at any point you start being able to get out a little earlier, let me know.
Will do.
5 p.m. at Ripple Shelter.
Well, June,
Ripple Creek in May, weather permitting.
June, July and August, you can do whatever you want.
Pardon?
June, July and August, you schedule it whenever you want. It's a work thing, not a, I
What
don't,
about May?
that's the last week of school. You know, do you know what
We'll
the
leave
kids
it
are
at
like?
5 o'clock for May.
Do you know what
Also,
kids
the
are like?
meeting in June, I will
Yes, I
be up in Saint Germain at a big conference. Um,
On the lake, huh?
and I would ask that we try and make another meeting night so I could be there, but then I realized that I'm the one that's the real stickler on once you have your date and your day, not the date so much, but the day like us, the fourth Wednesday, we stick to it. So Eric or you can flip a coin and see who will be the chair for that meeting. And Madam President, if you're gonna be here, we won't need a fill-in, but if you're not gonna be,
For June,
June, right? June 20.
should be fine. Yeah, I work at school.
Well, that'll be good. Remind me again, then, if that's the case, right now, just making a mental note that June's meeting, July's meeting, and August meetings will be at 4 o'clock. Is that okay with people? Eric,
What day is the June meeting on?
June meeting, the date? 23rd, no,
My first-
28th,
28th?
Just
28 June,
I lied.
and then 26 July,
26th July? What about August?
and then 23 August, yeah.
When you send out the agenda for May's meeting, could you just make a sidebar somewhere with the June,
Okay.
July and August on them?
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else? Without objection, I'll declare this meeting adjourned at 5:30